The truth?
Oh, I'm all ears.
Okay. The truth.
I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
Why do you find it so hard to believe?
Why do you find it so easy?
It's never been easy.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
Hello and welcome to Truthful Talk. I'm your host, Marco D. George, here once again with my wife, Samantha. Samantha. And today, I think we're, what are we?
We're answering questions because you guys submitted some cool questions. Thank you. We finally got our Instagram up.
Yes, we have a new Instagram page, which is at Truthful Talk Pod, P-O-D. So Truthful Talk Pod. So if you can come out and subscribe to us, we'd love to have you follow us there.
Yes.
And then are we doing anything else? I mean, we're on YouTube. We're on the Truthful Acting YouTube page, though, is where you can find us, both our audio feed and our video feed. So we're going to start trying to do more video podcasts as well. So you'll have the option of listening on audio, or you can go to
look at our pretty faces.
Yeah, you can go to YouTube and you can kind of watch us while we do this.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do. And of course, if you go to truthfultalk.com, there's a lot of different ways to stay connected with us, whether it's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or, I don't know, Amazon Music and like all the different others. We have
all the different ways to listen.
Excuse me.
That's not what you want to do on a podcast, but that's okay. This is real life, you guys. But yeah, you can go on that platform and listen to us on all the different, you can go to our website and find a way to listen to us on all the different platforms. And we will be posting on our Instagram weekly. So that should be fun.
I think I was choking there.
Are you okay?
I think I'm all right. I don't know what happened.
But you've taught me that as long as you're coughing, you're okay.
I was just breathing too. And I breathed in like saliva or something. And it just started choking. That was weird.
You used the different flap.
Yes, right. The wrong one was...
The wrong flap.
Was open.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, so you have the questions for
I do.
us.
Do you know any of the questions that were submitted?
I do not. I have not seen them yet.
That's wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump in.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to go with, what is the importance of work ethic in acting? We know this is a big one.
Work ethic?
I know, right? Like this is what you live for. This is what you talk about all the time.
The importance of it in acting. Okay. So, I mean, I think there's an importance of it in life, but work ethic. And I consider work ethic to be what I call integrity factors. Integrity factors would be showing up, do whatever you have to do, showing up on time, which means 15 minutes early is on time. We have a saying, early is on time is late is forgotten.
Yeah.
And which means when you show up 15 minutes early, that's when you should be there getting ready to. So for anything in the acting industry, 15 minutes early is what you want. 15 minutes prior to what they call your call sheet, your call time. So 15 minutes prior to call is when you arrive. In that way, you can arrive, you can settle, you can use the restroom, you can do all of that. So by your call time, that means the time you can be called into your work, called into hair, makeup, wardrobe, set, rehearsal, whatever that is. So 15 minutes early is on time. On time, meaning if your call time is 1 p.m. and you show up at 1 p.m., you're already late.
Yeah.
Because you're already, now all of a sudden people show up at 1 p.m., but now they need to go to their bathroom and settle in and everything else. So you're actually late to be called. And then, of course, late is forgotten. And what that means is, if you show up late consistently, people will forget your name the next time a project comes up or the next time something comes up, because the ones they're going to remember are the ones that made everything better and easier for them. And typically part of that is showing up. So that's important, that whole piece of it. The other thing is showing up prepared, doing the work that you need to do, your homework, so to speak, for whatever role you're in or whatever you're doing, but showing up prepared, showing up having something to offer. That's really important. And then attitude, the way you show up is really important. Showing up excited to do the work that you're about to do. That's a really important thing too, because of course we're all tired. We're all stressed. We're all whatever. And we can show up with that, but that just gets in the way of the production and whatever we're working on. And it causes people to kind of put you at arm's length. So if you show up and you're constantly in what we could just consider a quote unquote bad mood, but you know, we're not feeling well, we're tired, we're grumpy, we're whatever, we show up and we start spreading that and start complaining and start venting, all of a sudden producers, directors, other actors, creatives around you are going to find that's not fun to work with and won't want to work with you in the future. So work ethic. So those are the kind of like integrity factors. But beyond that, and we talk about this in class, work ethic also means putting in 100% of your effort when you're working on something. So if, let's say, we have a rehearsal and someone comes in, I mean, I want 100% of their effort during that rehearsal time, whether it's an hour, whether it's 4 hours, I don't know, but I want them to be there giving me their all in making the attempt and working on whatever we're doing. I don't want to hear excuses of why they can't, or I don't want anyone pulling back. There are some actors that don't like to, like, quote unquote, give it their all in rehearsal because they feel they're going to give something up that then won't relate to something else. But no, I want actors to give it their all every time they're doing it. Even when we're working behind the scenes on the set, it's like when we're working, we should be going all in on that. On design, which I know you do, or on tech design or whatever it is. But I want to clarify something. Work ethic does not mean working 24/7. It doesn't mean, wow.
Well, it's raining real.
raining.
I don't know if you guys
If
can hear
hear
it.
that. It is pouring rain and it's like intruding into our sound. But work ethic does not mean like working 24/7 nonstop without a break, because that will lead to something called burnout, where you just can't move forward, right? You get to the point where you're not even happy doing it anymore. So part of having a good work ethic is having balance between your on time and your off time, meaning you have to schedule downtime. You have to schedule recovery time. And that way, when you do have, I have this 2-hour block scheduled to work on memorization, I'm going to go all in on memorization during those 2 hours. I'm going to give everything I have for those 2 hours. But I'm also going to schedule an hour off just for me, or I'm going to schedule a couple of hours off to have family time tonight. I'm going to schedule that in as well. So a good work ethic is balancing out your life so you feel the most productive and the happiest and in balance, really. That will actually get you to accomplish more by having those things in balance. And then finally, one last thing for work ethic. I think it's going to rain. It is pouring rain. It is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm hearing it in my headphones, so I'm wondering
Yeah.
if the audience is going to hear this as well. I'll see. If you're hearing rain or static, just know it is pouring right outside. So that's what that is. Anyway, one last thing for work ethic. So I say a lot, especially in class, that an actor, when you show up to rehearsal, an audition, a performance, I want an actor to give me everything they have. Give me the 100% that they have. But the problem is our 100% today may be different than our 100% yesterday. It might be different than our 100% tomorrow, meaning, well, let's say you are like really fatigued today because you only had 2 hours of sleep because of whatever was happening yesterday. Or let's say you had a really difficult day today for whatever reason, and you're coming in and you have all this stress on top of you. Well, what you have available, your energy reserve that's available may not be equal to the energy reserve that was yesterday or the energy reserve that's tomorrow. So when I say give 100%, I don't mean equally across the board. It's not 100% of what you could potentially fully have. I mean 100% of what you do have. So if you show up to a rehearsal and you literally only have 20% of your energy reserves in your tank, give me 100% of that. You know, if tomorrow you have 80% of your energy reserves, give me 100% of that. So just put everything you have, go all in is what I say. And that's a good work ethic. You don't have to make excuses of it. You don't have to show up to a rehearsal and say, oh my God, I'm really tired today, or I didn't get enough sleep last night, or because all of a sudden you're proactively making excuses of why you're not going to do a good job or not going to give me all of your effort. You don't need to do that. Just give me 100% of what you do have. That's it. That's it. And as long as you do that, you're going to stand out in the industry. Yeah.
Yeah. As a teacher, since you obviously have classes and students, you have the ability to see each of your students' work ethics, right? So you know who's showing up late, you know who's doing the work, right?
Yes.
All right, that's it.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I not only do I know it, I track it.
I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, no, I track that, yeah.
Okay, so next question is, how do you cope with your acting type? How do you cope when your acting type doesn't fit the roles you want to play?
So we all have like dream roles that we want to play and things that we want to do. But the truth is, you know, we can't do everything, not professionally. You know, I'd love to be 18 again, but I don't think my type is going to fit that. So there are going to be things that go against type. Now, stage is a great way to do that because in theater, your type broadens. You're able to do things that you can't necessarily do on film. And the reason why is film is very nuanced. Film brings in a different level of, dare I say the word realism, but at least mimicking realism of as far as types of characters. So it's hard to go vastly against your type. But on stage, we do that all the time. We can break type and break convention and to do those. And then also your own projects that you can do. You can do your own things. I always encourage my students, get together and do your own short films, your independent films. And you're not governed by what the studios want or who's financing it or anything like that.
Just go do it yourself.
Just go do it yourself. And you can, you know, when you do it yourself, you can play all sorts of different characters or monologues.
Do you still recommend auditioning for that type of role, or?
So I'm a big fan of auditioning for anything that they will let you audition for. So when you go in for something against your type, and professionally, this is more difficult because obviously an agent has to send you on something. So this is great in the independent world, in the student world, in the community theater world. Show up and say, listen, I know I don't fit one of the types, but can I audition? And most of the time they'll say, yeah, we have room. Yeah, go ahead and audition for it. You know, well, and they'll just let you. And sometimes that makes a big difference. Sometimes you can go in and you can change their mind about a role, whether it's on stage, definitely in film. In film, the director has the ability to alter the script and to move some things around. And there have been times where the film has been adapted for an actor that came in and changed their mind. And they made it a different type, so to speak. And so I'm a big fan of audition for whatever they'll allow you to audition for.
Okay. All right.
Professionally, though, you may not be able to do that. Professionally, your agent may not want to risk their reputation for sending you on something you're not good for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, or something's coming out and Paramount is auditioning. They're really trying to just get a job done. This is not their point that they want to experiment necessarily. So you may or may not be able to do that. Now your type is important, and understand this: your type is not what you say it is.
It's what other people.
It's what other people. It's the perception of others. Your type is the perception of others.
I really want to do that experiment of asking strangers.
The type survey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go to a park and just ask a stranger, what do you think I do for a living? Right?
Right.
Straight out.
You ask basic sociological questions. So how old do you think I am? What do you think I do for a living? Am I in a relationship, and what kind?
Man, I wish somebody just randomly off the street would ask me that about them. I would think that's so...
It's so cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you go to a place that, parks are great,
Mm-hmm.
out in public. You have to ask people that don't know you at all, because
Right.
it's really first impression. And the biggest thing about the type survey is you won't say that you're an actor, because immediately they're going to think of you differently than who you are.
Yeah.
So instead you say you're part of a sociological experiment, for like a sociology class or something. You're part of this experiment on first impressions. And you're just going to ask them a couple questions about you, and all you want them to do is answer honestly. How old do you think I am? And say, hey, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Don't worry. You're not going to offend me.
Completely...
Just answer honestly. How old do you think I am?
Yeah.
What do you think I do for a living? What do you think? And, and from those questions, you can branch off. So like, what do you think I do for a living? It's like, I don't know. I think you do something construction. It's like, okay, great. What in the construction? Like, try to go down and get as specific as possible. Because am I like laying block on the field, or am I the construction foreman, or am I the owner of the company? Like where do you see me in that thing? And so you try to go down. Same thing with relationship. Am I in a relationship? Yes. What type? I ask what type because it could be anything from dating. It could be same sex. It could be like, there's a lot of, it could be polyamorous. It could be all sorts of different things. So you have to ask what type, and then you go down.
So we're basically asking someone to judge us. Oh, I would have so much fun.
To type us. Yeah. To critique us. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
It's
like you have free range to judge me
we
right now,
that.
And I am not going to get offended.
Didn't we used to do that in the malls?
Yeah, just people watch. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're just judging.
That's it. And but not in a bad way.
No, not in a bad way.
It's just your profile.
Yeah.
More of a profile than anything else. But yeah, it's like looking at somebody, and based in what you look like and how you sound, it's like, okay, I think you're here.
It's fun. There's no ill intent. It's just fun.
And you just ask these series of questions just that help identify your type. Age is going to be the biggest one. And then like relationship and what you do for work. I mean, those are really the biggest ones. You can ask like, what do I like to do for fun? What type of car do I drive? I mean, there's others that you can kind of go down that road, but really that's it. And then it gives you, once you know what people immediately type you as, because if you ask 20 people, we'll go into a statistical analysis for a minute. You ask 20 people, 4 of those are going to be what's considered outliers. Outliers are like things that are far from the center. We throw away the 4. There's usually 2 on one end, 2 on the other. And then it's going to be like a bell curve. There's going to be a meaty center where 18 or 16 people at least are going to be somewhat all together. And you're going to notice patterns. It's like, wow, 12 of these people said I was this age. You're going to notice patterns. 15 out of the 16 people thought I wasn't in a relationship. It's weird. So you'll look for the groupings of this data. And then that's what the majority of the people see you as. That's your type. And your type is what is easy for you to get accepted as. Meaning if you go to an audition, if people see you as this quote unquote type, and you get an audition that fits your type, you're already winning. Because as you walk in the door, the people seeing you are going to see you as the type of person that could be the doctor, the lawyer, the police officer, the whatever the role is, right? The father, the whatever. They're going to see you as that role. So now it is based on your audition and your acting skills and everything else, but already you're ahead of the game. And the same thing is especially true for commercials. Commercials, you need to type in immediately. So if they're looking for the person that works at Home Depot, and you look like somebody that works at Home Depot, like type-wise, right? Kind of all-American, construction type of person, then immediately you can walk in and do that. So type has nothing to do with what you want to play. It has to do with what is accessible to you. And the important thing about type is it's going to help you get work. That's why we want to lean into type early on. It helps you get work. And then beyond that, that's going to, because paid work as an actor is a big deal and it helps you establish a career in this. That's really important. And then beyond that, yes, continue doing independent film, continue doing student films, continue doing community theater, the things that help you then broaden your type and they'll allow you to play something that you wouldn't normally play.
Cool. Okay.
I know these are very long answers.
Very long answers. We gotta shorten them up a little bit.
There's only 2 more, right?
2 more.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Getting established in a new city, financial management, but we need some depth for this. So I can actually say getting established if you're going to a new city, thrifting. Thrift everything.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you go to a new city, obviously you're thinking about moving to a new city. Yeah, there's gonna be expenses that are, thrift everything.
Thrift everything.
Except underwear and food. Right? And then try to find your tribe, and that's gonna take a while. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So what was the question? I'm not sure what the question was.
I mean, the question just says getting established in a new city, financial management, like in depth.
Okay. It's very broad. So getting established in a new city, I think it doesn't necessarily pertain to acting. It's just getting established I just think you have to go, you have to learn the city, you have to find a community. I think the easiest way to find a community in a new city is going to be take a class, join a theater, just get involved with people who are like-minded and on the same path as you,
Mm-hmm.
And that can expand from there. Sam said, thrift everything, become a minimalist starting out.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's really important. And before you move, if possible, I always say try to work as much as you can prior to a move, save money. So that way that money can help get you started. So you're not under the immediate stress financially into the
trying to,
if
work.
you're going to LA or if you're going to New York, there's a financial burden to those cities. So having some money to help get you started is, to me, a big deal. And then you're not under the pressure of having to go there and working like full time or more than full time, and then not having, if you immediately start working full time, it's hard to get to know the community, the artistic community, and other things. So
yeah, so obviously, budget's important.
Budget's very important, but keeping, minimalizing your expenses as much as you can, to me is critical in that. But get involved. Find a theater you can volunteer with. Find a class you can get involved with. Find like-minded people in your artistic endeavor, and let them help guide you as well.
Hope that's good.
I think. I'm not too sure how to expand on that without further. Without further questions on where we want to go with that.
And then the last question says, why do relationships not exist in time? Are deep relationships any different? So,
relationships in time. Okay, so this is a conversation we were having in class, and I would say relationship exists out of time and takes no time to exist, because relationship is an energy connection between two human beings. And you have that relationship. It's an instinct that you have, which is a connection of energy. And that instinct tells you if you're compatible or you're not compatible, which is why there are some people you're immediately compatible with and some people that you're not. So that happens out of time. And what I mean out of time is what I teach in class is that it doesn't take 6 months to establish a relationship, or even a month or a year or whatever, where some people will like, let's say dating, you start dating and you don't open up right away.
Mm-hmm.
You keep yourself pulled back. You don't share everything about yourself, right? So, and people who go on dates will be on their quote unquote best behavior. I do
Right.
quote unquote a lot, but we do.
You do that
I
a
do
lot.
that. Yeah.
You do.
I do. You're double doing.
Yeah.
And so, people will right? It's just like they saying being on your best behavior. So you're somebody that, let's say you enjoy cursing, and then it's like, oh, I'm not going to curse, on my date because I don't want to offend them. It's like, so really what we're doing is we're putting on what's called social masks. Well, social masking is a thought, which is a fear, which comes from our past and not wanting to repeat mistakes. It's also projecting into the future of what this may lead to, and it's all a manipulation. Now, we most of us do it at a subconscious, partially level, where we just want people to like us, and we're afraid that there's certain sides of ourselves that they're not going to like, so they're going to reject. That all exists what I call out of time, meaning that's not happening right now in the moment. That's based in fears stemming from the past and projecting into what we want in the future. That's not happening right now. If we get rid of that, if we can just really exist right here, right now, if we can fully be in this moment, we don't have access to logical thought. If we don't have access to logical thought in this moment, then who we think we are to each other ceases to exist. Who we think we actually are ceases to exist. To explain who you are, you have to think about it first. You have to go into your logic, which is your fear center. And then you have to then use those words to describe, and which is who you think you are, not who you actually are. Who we actually are exists in this present moment. And so it's a feeling. And so in acting, we learn how to get into the moment, to stay in this moment and to be whoever we need to be with each other. And that's how we can go onto a film set and, we have to be in love with our co-star, because this is where the first scene we're going to shoot is that scene where we're madly in love with each other, and we have to go there, and we meet each other, and then an hour later we're shooting the scene. And it's about bypassing thought, bypassing who we think we are, who we know we are, bypassing our past and our history and any worry about the future. And we just go and we allow ourselves to be with this person. And then when we're done, in class, what I teach is we hug up, we give thanks, we say thank you for letting us go there, and then we don't talk about it. We leave it. Whatever happens on stage stays on stage. Stage meaning in our performance. Yeah. Whatever happens there stays there, and then we're done, and we don't go back, and we don't try. We don't talk about it. We don't bring it up. We don't make it real. We don't bring it back into the real world, which exists in our mind. We don't bring it into that. We keep it separate. It's something that happens in the moment, stays in the moment. And so that's a way actors can, it doesn't matter what our relationship is actor to actor in the real world, we can step into this moment of the scene and we can love each other, hate each other, whatever we need to in that moment. And it stays in that moment. This relationship takes no time. We can allow ourselves to feel the relationship fully in whatever moment we need. Now, that takes a very long time to get to as an actor. This isn't something that you come to a class and I talk about it and you're done. There's a lot of tools involved. There's a process involved. There's a lot of repetition of certain tools involved that you have to do over and over and over and over and over. This is one of those 10,000 hour type of things to get to. But when you can achieve it, it's magical.
Now, this is pertaining to acting.
Yes.
The question doesn't specifically say acting. So I'm wondering, like, for example, you know how there's people that you have in your life that you haven't seen in forever?
Yes.
But then you'll see them and it's like no time has passed.
Correct.
Does that also apply?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I have like my best friend, Jalissa.
Yeah.
I can talk to her. I cannot see her, but I'm sure if I saw her tomorrow, it's like no time has passed.
Right.
Because we have a deep relationship. Like our connection is so strong.
Yes.
That it's like no time has passed.
Correct. Because you're not filling that time in your head with anything. So the time in your head, the memories in your head, right, stop at a certain point and then you go 6 months and then you start again. latches right onto that.
So that's where there
no time has
there is
passed.
no time.
Right. The only times we feel time has passed is if there's a deep longing or a deep missing or an offense or anything like that.
Because there's something
So if
negative,
you're-
maybe.
Yeah. So if you're thinking during that 6 months of how, I don't know, this is just an example that I'm pulling out, but like, oh, it's horrible of Jalissa or somebody not to have contacted. Oh, I can't believe she didn't contact me here. I can't believe she didn't call me here. Well, now you're filling those gaps of time with negative thought. It's almost as if those are events that have occurred. So when you see her again, it's not as if no time has passed. They're also built on top of these other negative things. So that's why when we have those moments, which typically are really close friends, is going to be, there's like no time has passed because we're not filling. We might have good thoughts of them. I hope they're doing well. I hope they're doing, but in those, but there's not a lot that fills that time in between.
Right. That's awesome.
It's like if I, when I, every time I talk to Phil on the phone, right? My friend Phil is in LA. Every time I talk to Phil, it's like no time. It's like we can pick up a conversation that we had a year ago.
Right.
And it's because there's nothing negative filling in those gaps. If anything, there's appreciation and those type of things. So that's how that happens in real life. Remember, who we are to each other is in our head. Who we think we are is in our head.
Yeah.
Who we actually are is in this moment if we can get past that.
I read the other day about that. It's totally off topic, but about how who we are to other people, who we think, how other people see us is totally different than how we think. Like
completely.
How I think you see me is totally different than how you actually see me.
Correct.
And I will never know how you actually see me.
Well, not only that,
I just have an idea.
Every single person around you sees you differently.
Right.
Like how I see you is different than the kids see you, has different is our students see you, how different, like everyone who views you different.
That's bizarre.
We don't have access to how they see us, which is much different than how we see ourselves. And how we see ourselves is built on top of what other people have told us in the past. It's actually not a true reflection of ourselves. It's a thought reflection based in things that other people have told us in the past.
So much information. How do we process that? Like, do you know what I mean? That is so much.
It's a lot. And this is why we need to balance, as humans, we need to balance ourselves. We're stuck in thought too much.
Yeah.
And we need to balance that with being in the moment, which means we have to disconnect from technology. We have to disconnect from a lot of things. And technology that is logical technology, we have to disconnect from. What I mean, because like I'm not necessarily like music can be very creative. You can go for a walk and listen to music and it can be inspiring and creative and it's not putting you necessarily into your head. So there's like art, it can be very inspiring. But we have to disconnect from text and email and social media and definitely social media. Things like that cause us to be engaged logically about things. Disconnect from the news, disconnect from TV for the most part. We have to have the ability to disconnect from the stuff that puts us in our head. And not all the time, because I understand people are like, yeah, well, social media is important, whatever. But yes, it can be a tool and it can be good. You can communicate with people you don't normally communicate with, but it can also be a negative thing that puts us in. We see a lot of criticism with negative comments and negative posts and negative whatever. So all of those things can go into us and feed our fear and feed our divisiveness. So by stepping away from that and getting into your creativity, I would love for people to do it once a day, but that's even a tall order. Once a week is all I ask. For my artists, once a week, I want you to step into your creativity. If you could step into your creativity once a week, then you can build that side of you. Because we can't work on a certain side of us if we're only focusing on the other.
Mm-hmm.
And we have two sides. We have our logical side and our emotional side. Those are the duality of the human psyche, right? Those are the two sides of us. So we have to be able to feed both sides. We feed the logical side every single day just by existing in society.
Yeah.
Every time you read the news, every time you see an advertisement, every time you're on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or any of the social media platforms, anytime you do anything online, you are feeding your logic. So anytime you go through the mail, anytime you think about finances, all of it is feeding your logic. And very rarely do we feed our emotional core, which is our creative center. So we have to step out and find time just for ourselves to do that. And it could be having a conversation that is not, that we're not doom scrolling at the same time. Like having an actual in-life conversation, taking a walk, listening to music, spending time with your pets. Spending time with our dogs is creative as because you feel different when you're just.
I can't get out of bed if I don't snuggle them.
Yeah, right. It just feels good just being in that moment. And so we need to make sure we are spending time, and we call it the oasis, spending time in our space-time oasis where it allows us to be creative, where we're not constantly problem solving.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we can just sit and just be and listen to some good music or draw something or create something or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, without having to worry or solve something.
This is true. Well, we are very happy with all the questions that were sent our way.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun. I'd love to hear more from you guys.
I definitely want more questions. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to get like a whole bunch of different questions sent our way. And they can do that through our Instagram. Do we have an email? I don't even know.
I don't even know if we have an email.
We don't even know if we have an email.
I'll put that out. But if you go to
DM, they can DM us on Instagram.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Truthful Talk Pod.
Yeah. You go to Instagram and DM us there. That's great. I believe you can contact us through our website, which is also another great way. If we don't have an email, I will definitely get one and make sure we do. So that'll be another good way to reach out.
Yeah.
But if spread the word and let people know about this. We're going to be doing more video podcasting, just in case you want to watch us on video. I don't know. Is it interesting? I don't know. But you can watch us do what we do. There's that. That's going to be on YouTube under our Truthful Acting.
Yep.
So you can find that, youtube.com/truthfulacting. You'll find all of our history of all of our podcasts, and then our audio podcasts are anywhere where you find podcasts. But if you go to truthfultalk.com, you will definitely find everything there.
You got it, dude.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. That's all we have for you today. We will be back next week with more. So until then, send us in your questions. We'll have other subjects that we're going to be addressing as well. But I would love to
we wanted to just get to some of your questions.
Yeah, this was a good starter for that, a good Q&A. And what I'd love to do is every week is have a segment of our podcast where I just maybe go a little more quickly, but answer those questions. And we can do that almost every single week.
That's awesome.
So, which would be awesome. So, all right. But thank you so much for tuning in. Please be safe.
Please be safe.
Remember to treat yourself and others with kindness.
Yes.
And reward yourself for the risks that you take.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Bye now.
Bye, guys.
If you'd like to learn more about our studio and what we do, you can find us online at truthfulacting.com. And check out truthfulactingonline.com for our Learn at Home at Your Own Pace courses.
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
I know what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to free your mind, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.